So welcome to our today's session, and today this is what I want us to do. So today this is what I want us to do, my good students. Yeah. So today I want us to look at the first chapter, the audit environment. But this time around, I would want to use ACCA questions. So the ACCA question that I want to use are here, two of them. I should be able to do today under the audit regulatory environment. Audit regulatory environment. So we shall start with question number one. Question number one. So this question number one, we go back. Question number one, what does it want me to do? Question number one, what do they want me to do? So we are told here, remember always, advanced audit and assurance questions, the ACCA especially paper, you'll be given what we call exhibits. Yeah, which will be like case studies. Start by reading the requirement. Like now here, they want us to discuss the implications of the circumstances described in the audit senior's note. So the auditor senior has done a note. So what are the implications there? Number two, they want me to explain the nature of any reporting that should take place by the audit senior. What kind of reporting should this audit senior? So as I read the case question, I'm looking for that note done by the audit senior and the C, number one, the implications, and any further reporting that he should be able to do as an audit senior. So I'm told, ladies and gentlemen, here that you are the manager in Luck and Company responsible for the audit of 𝐂𝐅𝐅𝐄 Limited, an owner-managed business which operates a chain of bars and restaurants. You see, owner-managed, that means very high risk. You know, businesses which are managed by like a complete set board, all right? Many owners, all right? Many directors will always, not always, but in most cases, they are run much better than owner-managed or than family-managed businesses. This is your first year auditing the client, and the audit for the year ended 31st March 2022 is underway. So first year audit, so the audit risk here is very, very high. I will have to start first of all by testing the client's internal control systems. Lots of work is to be done here. The audit senior sends a note for your attention. You remember you are the manager. Now you are audit senior. Yeah, the one who is reporting to you. When I was auditing revenue, I noticed something strange. 𝐂𝐅𝐅𝐄 Limited's revenue, which is almost entirely cash-based, very risky. When they talk of cash-based, I must also be able to reason in light of what we call money laundering. Most money launderers don't believe in their cash being banked directly by customers to their bank account. No. They first of all receive the bulk cash in their offices, and then they do placements themselves. They start in this case, taking this money, some to be taken in this case here to Equity Bank, others overseas. Let's just read here. Yeah. So which is almost entirely cash-based, is recognized at £5.5 million in the draft financial statements. However, the accounting system shows that till receipts for cash paid by customers amount to only 3.5 million. accounting system. The receipts issued amount to 3.5 million. But in this case here, the financial statements drafted by this gentleman here, they are showing total cash of 5.5, revenue of 5. There is a difference of 2 million here. I'm seeing something fishy here. This seemed odd. So I questioned Abagal, the financial controller, about this. He said that Jack Heron, the company's owner, deals with cash receipts and they post through journals dealing with cash and revenue. So one person doing quite a lot. Yeah, including generalization. Ava asked Jack the reason for these journals, but he refused to give an explanation. There must be something that is being hidden here. While auditing cash, I noticed a payment of around 2 million made by electronic transfer from the company's bank account to an overseas financial institution. The bank statement showed that the transfer was authorized by Jack Heron, but no other documentation regarding the transfer was available. You don't have an invoice, perhaps in this case here from this international company. A lot is wanting it. Alarmed by the size of the transaction, 2 million pounds is a lot of money. That could be close to 300 million shillings. And the lack of evidence to support it, I questioned Jack Heron, asking him about the source of cash receipts and the reasons for electronic transfer. He would not give any answers and he became quite aggressive. Discuss the implications of the circumstances described in the audit seniors note. So remember, we have in this case here the audit juniors, we have audit seniors, we have what we call audit senior, and then now we talk of audit manager, yeah, and then now we have the partners, the engagement partner up there, right? So the audit senior has done quite some good job. He's been auditing this Heron Limited, yeah, and he has made a note. But there is a controversy here. First of all, these people are receiving cash. That notwithstanding, there is a 2 million that I've been able to see a difference between the cash receipt and what is contained as cash in the financial statements drafted by the owner of the business. All right. And then I can see the difference of 2 million has been electronically wired from the company's bank statement. So here straight away, the very first thing that I will think about is money laundering. Money laundering. Ladies and gentlemen, I've marked this paper AAA for so long. Not many students will be able to get these marks. It may seem a simple question, but trust you me, you will get very few students who will be able to write an answer that will be able to give 6 marks here. Not many, not many. Actually, if I gave you like a few minutes, you try, in this case here, writing, most of us may not be able to give us quite a lot. Would you want to try the question yourselves? Would you want to try doing the question? So then these are the kind of answers that I would want to put down. I'm going to put just high level answers. Very good. So we have your question number 1. Implications of the circumstances. The circumstance, of course, being mentioned here has got everything to do with money laundering. Why do I suspect money laundering, first of all? I'm suspecting money laundering because, number one, this is a cash business. So please remember the book has got answers there at the back. The book has got answers. So I don't want to give you like a whole, no. I just want to give you like a high level answer, and then you'll be able to go back and read those answers. I'll be able to share this book with you. So cash business. So you're told in this case here that Heron Limited receives almost all its revenues in cash. Very, very important for me to know that. Then we tell the examiner that cash businesses, like in Kenya here, or all over globally, are commonly used to hide illegal money, proceeds of crime. The other thing that makes me suspect money laundering, we have what we call abnormal differences. Very abnormal. Yeah. So in this case here, these abnormal differences, ladies and gentlemen, drafts accounts, show revenue of pounds, 5.5 million. Cash till receipts. Amount to pounds 3.5 million. The unexplained pounds 2 million difference, pounds 2 million, maybe illegal money. Full stop. Maybe illegal money, full stop. The other item, we have a suspicious transfer. Remember, we are told that somewhere there, my very good students, we are told somewhere here that pounds 2 million was transferred overseas. With no supporting documentations. So that automatically means that, or rather, because it was overseas, yeah. So in this case here, overseas transfers are common in money laundering. Like I know so many friends of mine because I'm in audit. I'm so much privy to some great information of people who are currently opening accounts of their businesses in these tax havens, like Panama, Cayman Islands. And then they keep on, in this case here, wiring their profits to those countries, basically to hide. That's a very, very good example of what we call money laundering. Because also running away from taxation is an illegal activity. Yeah. So it is dirty money you've stolen here from Kenya. You want this money to hit in those foreign bank accounts, and then you go and clean it. You go and wash it. You launder it up there, and then you start spending it. You return it back to the system like that. All right. The other thing that makes me, ladies and gentlemen, think that this is really a money laundering activity is a lot is being hidden by the owner. A lot hidden by the owner. First of all, to hide a lot, Jack controls all cash. Jack controls all cash. He refused to explain the transactions. All right. He became aggressive when questioned. He became too aggressive when questioned. Yeah. So I think these ones, once you have them very well, then you are good to go. So tell us there, overally, as a note, that there is a high risk of money laundering. There is a high risk. There is a high risk of money laundering, comma, fraud. And the biggest implication now will be under material misstatement in the financial statements. So as the audit manager, automatically, I appreciate the fact that from the very, very beginning, I appreciate the fact that this question is alluding to the fact that my financial statements or other financial statements of this audit client are materially misstated. So from the beginning, I know that I'm dealing with a dangerous man, a man most probably who is engaging in money laundering. Look at the students who are doing this advanced audit assurance. Even in ACCA, advanced audit assurance, just like this other audit assurance, they are in terms of performance, who are they? They are poorly performed. Not because students are stupid, no, because students lack the structure. They lack the structure. If you attempted this question the way I've attempted it, then you'll be able to end up getting all the marks. So have you guys been able to pick up something from that explanation? Yes, Emilia will be able to do that. Have you been able to pick up? Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's only one person who has picked it, Kenneth. All the other guys seemingly they're not able to follow. At least there is another one saying yes there. 𝐂𝐈𝐅𝐻, great. Then let's continue to number 2 of this very great question. So describe or discuss the implications of the circumstances described in the audit senior note. And then number 2, explain the nature of any reporting that should take place by the audit senior. When this audit senior suspected money laundering, what kind of reporting should he have done immediately? When you suspect, ladies and gentlemen, any money laundering issue, there are 3 key things. 3 key things. Actually, normally in practice, because this is something I run an audit firm, by the name 𝐂𝐅𝐅𝐄. We normally say MRS. Anything to do with money laundering, you remember Mrs. MRS. So Mrs. in this case here, it will be very, very important to always think about the MRRO. Yeah, very, very important. You must, in this case here, get in touch with the money laundering reporting officer. Money laundering reporting officer. Within the organization or even outside here, we have a money laundering reporting officer. Whom are you supposed? Like at 𝐂𝐅𝐅𝐄, we already have a structure which governs our money laundering operations. So like within 𝐂𝐅𝐼R company, audit firm, which is based at Westlands, we have a money laundering reporting officer, who in most cases should be the partner, one of the partners. These are high-level issue. So number one, in this case here, you report to MLO within your organization. And then from there, you must always know the concept of reporting quickly. You report quickly. Yeah, very, very important. You're not supposed to delay, because failure to report suspected money laundering is an offense, punishable in law. So you report quickly, and then most importantly, in this case here, you should stay silent. You stay silent. Allow me to write this, very, very important. Very important. That is Roman 2 of this question. Reporting by audit senior. It's a clear framework. Yeah. So number one, you report to MLRO. Yeah. Report the matter immediately to the firm's money laundering reporting officer. Please write this in full. Money laundering reporting officer. Then number two, very importantly for your exam, always remember to mention there, report quickly. Yeah. Do not delay. Because failure to report. Failure to report suspected money laundering. Suspected money laundering. Suspected money laundering. Suspected money laundering is an offense. Yeah. And all in this, all in all, the gentlemen in here, you shall always stay silent. Don't inform any staff member at Jack, not even Jack himself. So let's stay silent. Do not tell Jack Heron that a report has been made. If you do that, that offense is known as tipping off. And tipping off is an offense in law. I.e., don't tip off. Don't tip off, because this is what here, an offense. Very, very important. And once you do that, ladies and gentlemen, then you are good to go with that question. You're good to go with that question. However, when you also look at this kind of a question, you can always quote the three stages of money laundering. Three stages of money laundering. I know you know all of them because you guys are very, very bright. The first one is what we call placement. So under placement, that money enters the business. So this dirty money is placed in the business. Yeah. So in short, remember here, illegal money is mixed with genuine. This was a restaurant with genuine restaurant cash. Like ourselves running colleges, we have always gotten those guys coming, in this case here, from some political areas, I don't know where. You get somebody coming, telling you here in the office that, hey, I have 5 million Kenya shillings. So what I want us to do, because you run a college that has got so many students, take this money. Yeah. And then, of course, you bank it genuinely in the school's account. So this money is being placed. Yeah. And then, of course, they'll tell you crazy things. If you're stupid, you'll be able to fall into their trap. They will tell you that you, once you have placed this money in the school's account, make a payment to us. Which payment? Pay us 4 million. And then we'll be left with 1 million. And because of now being greedy, most people will accept, not looking at the tax implications of the 5 million to your business. This is dirty money. You'll even be forced to create fake students. I mean, I've seen people doing this. But this money was received here from, even accounting for 5 million from students who are paying 15,600 for 3 papers. It's not easy. So they have placed this dirty money with you. From there, what do? They form various layers to hide now the illegal placements. They do what we call layering. So under layering, money is transferred between many bank accounts. Between many bank accounts, often overseas. To hide its source. So like now for the case of the college, when you get this 5 million, they cannot allow you to go and bank the whole of it at Stanbic. Now they'll tell you, how many bank accounts do you have? Tell them we only have one. They tell you no. Now for us to do this business, go and open Equity Bank, open Family Bank, open this and this. So you have like one institution, like most of these county governments, even having like 100 different bank accounts. They could even be bank accounts within the same organization. One in this case here for money market fund, etc. They will be able to hide this money by taking it through different layers. We'll be having cash now stashed in a layer called overseas, a layer called into this asset like that. So in this case here, this money at the end of the day, before it goes back to the thieves, it has to be layered and hidden. And it's quite a lengthy circuit. All right. And now, after now, you've been able to play around with this. Now you go to the last thing that we call what here? That we call integration. We call this one integration. So once you've been able to have the money placed safely, illegal money placed safely in the college, in the restaurant, you've been able to hide this through making many bank transfers. All right, what we call layering. Now that money has become clean. All right, it has been washed. Remember laundering, how you launder your clothes. Yeah, they were dirty, you clean them up. So once in this case here, then you have been able to place. You've done layering very, very well. Now you do the integration. And the integration now, of course, this money, to integrate it to add, this data money now is put within and included in this normal banking system. So integration, ladies and gentlemen, the money now appears legitimate. The money appears legitimate, and can be used freely. Be used freely, full stop. In this very question, the pounds 2 million, which were added to cash revenues, which were added to cash revenue, this one here, they were doing what we call placement. And then we have, in this case here, an electronic transfer. If I remember very well, this was what here? Overseas. So in this case here, they are doing layering. We'll have some money in Kenya here, another layer of money in America or whatever. And then, of course, if you are the auditor, don't help the government, to discover this money will return back to Kenya here and be used as if the money is genuinely, cleanly acquired. So it shall be integrated. And now that marks the end of what year? The end of that very question. Issues of reporting. And at least I've taken also a few minutes to explain to you what this money laundering really is and the stages. So can I go to something different, my good students? Have you guys now been able to follow? Have you guys been able to follow this? Please give me feedback. Give me feedback. Do you have that high-level knowledge? High-level knowledge? Thank you so much. If that is the case, then allow Mwalimu to go straight away to part B. Part A is over. Now we go to part B. 1 minute, just 1 minute. Please. So we go to part B now. You as the audit manager, you are also responsible for the audit of 𝐂𝐈𝐅𝐀 Limited. And you are currently reviewing the working papers of the audit for the year ended 28 February 2022. In the working papers dealing with payroll, the audit junior has commented as follows. Several new employees have been added to the company's payroll during the year, with combined payments of 125,000 being made to them, several of them. There does not appear to be any authorization for this addition of these employees to the payroll. When I questioned the payroll supervisor who made the amendment, she said that no authorization was needed because the new employees are only working for the company on a temporary basis. However, when discussing staffing levels with management, it was stated that no new employees have been taken on this year. Other than test of control plan, no other audit work has been performed. Required. In relation to the audit of 𝐂𝐈𝐅𝐀 Limited's payroll, explain the meaning of the term professional skepticism and recommend any further actions that will be taken by the auditor 6 months. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm quite aware that you guys know what professional skepticism is. Yeah. But what I know for sure is that very few of you will be able to answer this question in a way that they'll be able to get 6 months. Very few. Most of you will end up getting only 2, 3 months. So I'm giving you a few minutes to think through because it's very, very important. Of course, we know that professional skepticism is about having a questioning. But is that enough to give you really 6 months? No, that will be not enough. Now I've given you enough time to think through. Now it is my turn to write and explain my answer to you here. Audit is the best. If there is anything that I normally thank my Lord about, is enabling Mwalimu here to have a licensed audit organization. Yeah, we do quite a lot. We define what professional skepticism is. So professional skepticism, yeah, means having a questioning mind. Having a questioning mind, being alert to fraud or errors, and critically evaluating audit evidence. Audit evidence. Critically evaluating audit evidence before reaching conclusions. As auditors, we shall never judge a book by its cover. No, we have to dig deep and get to understand everything. When I come and ask you, and see from your financial statements, for example, you've charged depreciation of Kenya shillings 10 million. I can't take that figure just like that. It has to be taken with some pinch of salt. We must look for further evidence to support this figure. I must do a lot of inquiries, internally and externally. I start with the person who is giving me this figure, substantiate, justify. Why? I can see your last year's depreciation over there, for example, 30 million. Why has it gone down to 10 million? When you keep on asking like that, when you have that kind of a question in mind, then you are professionally skeptical. And that is why it's not everybody who can become, in this case, an auditor. An auditor is supposed to be somebody who behaves like an FBI or a DCI in Kenya here. Someone tells you something like this, and there are people who are naturally born like that. There are people who are naturally born like that. Like most ladies that I've worked with, most of these ladies are professionally skeptical. They doubt everything they are told. Even at home, if you try to evaluate between the husband and the wife, chances are the wife will be having more questions than the man. You should be alert all the time. You should be alert all the time. Somebody who is not professionally skeptical, these are the people who will be called in this case here by fraudsters. They're calling you and they're telling you that they're calling from Safaricom, and then you fall onto their trap very fast. Of course, all of us can really get ourselves being stolen resources from all of us. But again, we should not be that simple. We shall be alert. We shall critically evaluate any audit evidence that is given to us. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I will come here and make a few notes here, In terms of professional skepticism, we must always question. That's what you have said up there. Never accept explanations without supporting evidence. Without supporting evidence. And then, of course, you need many sources for the explanations. Internal and external, many sources. Yeah, a very good example. We are told in this case that the payroll supervisor said temporary workers do not need approval. So for us, what we shall do, so you're saying here that the auditor should verify this. Verify this rather than simply believing it. And the verification shall be corroborative in nature. We call it corroborate. Get information from this payroll person like he did here. Go to the board, read minutes. All right. How do you employ this kind of number of people without a minute having been passed by the board? Ladies and gentlemen, we have the concept of alert, and I want you to be answering these questions on alert is single L. Professional skepticism, for you to get 6 marks, I want you to be answering them this way. Always be alert. Be alert to fraud, unusual transactions, and unusual transactions. You shall always be alert. Given materiality, this is the person who is getting 200,000 a month. But when he tells you, like, when you see him even getting out of the office, the kind of vehicle he's driving, it's heavy. You shall be very, very alert. All right? And then, of course, we shall also be quite alert to any contradictions. For example, here, the management says no employees were hired. That's management. They're saying no new employees were hired. The payroll supervisor says there were new temporary employees who were hired. That's a contradiction. If you know what professional skepticism is, this raises suspicion. For me to be able to gather further sufficient, appropriate audit evidence. Yeah. Another one we mentioned up there is critically evaluate. Critically evaluate. Assess whether audit evidence is reliable. Assess whether audit evidence is reliable before relying on it to make opinions before relying on it. I.e., if evidence is weak, inconsistent, or contradictory, comma, perform more audit work. Perform more audit work. All right. So remember, yeah, they never wanted us. Here, they never wanted us to do the specific audit procedures. No. Yeah, they just wanted us to explain professional what here, skepticism, and I've been able to bring these out in a very, very good way. And with your permission, unless you have a question, please allow Mwalimu to go straight away to the next question. So I'm waiting for your green light. By just saying Y for yes, I would want to go to the next question, which will be the last question for today. Which will be the last question for today. Which will be the last question for today. So we have this question called a plan. You know, ACC will always give you very practical questions, something that also CASNEB has adopted. You are an audit manager in 𝐂𝐈𝅅&Co. An audit firm which operates as part of international network of firms. This morning, you received a note from a partner regarding a potential new audit client. Have been approached by the audit committee of the plant group, which operates in the mobile telecommunication sector. Our firm has been invited to tender for the audit of individual and the group financial statements for the year ending 31st March 2023. And I would like your help in preparing the tender document. This would be a major new client for our firm's telecoms audit department. You can see already we have a telecoms audit department, meaning that already, currently, we are auditing a telecommunications organization. We have some experience to show things. The plant group comprises a parent company and 6 subsidiaries. So basically, I'm going to be a group auditor. Yeah, so when I'm defining the scope, I must be able to show that I'm really experienced to be a group auditor, one of which is located overseas. The audit committee is looking for a cost-effective audit and hopes that the strength of the plant group's governance and internal control mean that the audit can be conducted quickly. That is not an idea. Because when you tell me to conduct an audit quickly, will I be able to gather sufficient appropriate audit evidence? Because remember, us, we give an opinion based on strongly searched for audit evidence with a proposed deadline of 31st May 2013 or 2023. The plant group has expanded rapidly, that's risky, in the last years, and a significant finance was raised in July 2022 through a stock exchange listing. So identify and explain the specific matters to be included in the tender document for the audit plant group. Tendering is something you accountants are aware of. You'll be able to really answer this question very, very well. And suppose in a way that you'll even end up getting 10 marks out of 8. Let's be very honest with each other here. Is there somebody who feels that they can't answer this question very well? Is there anybody who feels that they cannot answer this question very well? The concept of matters to be included in the tender document. Identify and explain specific matters to be included in the tender document. Let me first of all hear from you. Is there somebody who feels that they cannot answer this question properly? Yeah, tendering process, yes. It's a very common question, yes. Very common question it is. Very common question it is. So you can see all students are quite quiet, meaning that they are comfortable with this question. When we don't do it, these are questions that we will be able to handle ourselves. Yeah, like areas of specialization might correlate. Data has to be brought up. I can't answer. Let me then do it. Let me do it. So this is really an easy area that I would expect you to always know, because most of you have seen tender documents. Most of you will be doing this tendering. All right. So remember, we have in this case here those very, very key areas. You must give us an overview of the audit firm. Why is this important? So why is this important? Why is it important? You want to introduce the firm. Yeah, to introduce the firm. And most importantly, this introduction, of course, I'll be able to say so many things about our and the company, but because somewhere I was told that there is an international, there is a foreign subsidiary. Because I was told somewhere there's a foreign subsidiary, I must showcase that we have an international network. Showcase an international network. There is a possibility that even in that country where your foreign subsidiary is based, we have a local partner there. We have an international partner there. All right. That's number one. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, specialization. I mean, we're in telecoms. Specialization. Here, I would want you to show the telecommunications, the telecoms industry experience. It's an item that has to be included. It's an item that must be included. Number three, audit scope will be very important for us to define what is expected of us. Should we take this when I'm writing this proposal? When I'm doing this tender, because a tender document is a proposal. Should we get this job? Which areas are we going to cover? Yeah. So explain that the audit covers the parent and its subsidiaries. You want a lot of work, so simply say that you want to become a group auditor who will be able to do group accounts, including auditing the subsidiaries. So you're going to become a group auditor who will also be able to handle components. You don't need to be assisted at all. No, I want this money. I want this money. The more, the better. Money is sweet. The more, the better. Then go ahead and tell us something to do with audit approach. Is it a risk-based? Audit approach. Explain how the audit will be carried out. Explain how the audit will be carried out. Remember, it's just general. Otherwise, you don't have a lot of information about them. Number 5, the deadline. To do the work yourself, you don't have to work with what they have told you. For the deadlines, you would rather lose that job, but give a deadline which will be feasible to you. So propose a realistic deadline. Propose a realistic deadline. Completion date. In the tender document, ladies and gentlemen, you must always mention something to do with the fees. Fees. State. Audit fees. And the fee breakdown. Yeah. For example, I would want us to receive, like, say, 1 million Kenyan shillings for the entire audit fees. But these are the milestones. Upon these milestones being hit, then you should be able to give me 10% to enable me get started. Another 20% when I reach this level or when we are in this domain. You must give us that fees breakdown. Very important. You can also come here and they give us a note. You know, there are so many things you can talk about. Yeah. You are trying to show your abilities, overseas, expertise. You may have spoken about it up there in the overview, but again, there is nothing wrong in having like a whole page where basically you explain the ability. You explain the ability to audit the foreign subsidiary. Audit foreign subsidiary. And then, of course, you must always end up giving us what we call non-audit services. But I mean, I'm coming in with so many solutions. If I'll be required here in this other sector, yeah, in this to offer this other service, this one I can do, this one I cannot do, like that. Mention other services. Mention other services that can be legally done. So please remember, when you're doing the introduction of your company, this is well under company, out under call. So in the overview, I will mention our international expansive network. We are a large audit firm that has got 80 or whatever. My staff are experienced generally. Specialization, show why you are the best choice. Mention the telecom audit department. Mention in this case here the industry experience. Then, of course, experience farm. Audit scope, you'll be able to explain what will be audited. I will audit the parent company, 6 subsidiaries, overseas subsidiaries, group financial statements, the subsidiaries' financial statements. Audit approach, I don't want you to write that. I just want you later on when you listen to this video, you'll be able to click these things. So when I talk of the audit approach, I'm looking at Number one, do I understand your business? I want to show that I really understand your business. All right. That I'll be able to test the internal controls. I'll be able to perform what we call the substantive audit tests, the IAEOU. All right. Or is it, for example, risk-based audit that I'll be able to do? I have to tell you. Remember here in the illustration, they told us that for this company called the plant, that the controls are what here? Strong. In my scope, I will tell them that first, we have to test them before we rely on them. Because remember, it's about professional skepticism. I must keep on doubting everything I'm being told. Deadline. So plans wants a quick audit. I will explain automatically the deadline should be able to allow me get sufficient, appropriate audit evidence. And that quality shall never be sacrificed. So I'll be able to propose myself a practical, feasible deadline. So in terms of fees, what have we said? Give us the full audit fee breakdown. And then, of course, you must explain what we call value for money. Expertise overseas. What I'm thinking about is the international offices, overseas audit experience, ability to coordinate group audits. Now, in audit services, I'll be able to mention only services allowed under ethics. Do not promise prohibited services. Now, with your permission, I will go straight away to question 1B. 2B, I mean, question number 2B. But it's my hope that you guys are already getting some concepts here very, very nicely. It's my hope that you're getting some concepts there very, very nicely. This question, but it has also 8 marks. Well, a company is facing competition from other audit firms, and the partners have been considering how a firm's revenue could be increased. A proposal has been made that all audit managers should suggest to their audit clients that, as well as providing the external audit service, well, a company can provide the internal audit service as part of an extended audit service, which is really, really clear. I love that, because the moment they give us audit, internal audit, I'll be able to expand my revenue sources. But as I read this, I see 2 risks. As external auditors, as part of testing internal controls, we test how effective internal audit department is. Should we find it to be effective and quote unquote independent? They are able to add value to the company they are doing internal audit for. Then we shall be able to place reliance on their work. We shall be able to use some of their audit reports in doing our external audit. So there is quite a high risk that I will be reviewing my own type of reports. Should I be given internal audit? So straight away, I'm seeing a self-review risk here, a self-review threat. Then even if it can't happen really, it can't, I mean, it's very, very rare to get this kind of an arrangement. You are the external auditor and then the internal auditor as well. Please listen. When I am given this kind of extended kind of service, there is a very high chance that I will increase my audit fee from this client materially. And I can get, in this case here, from client A, I'm getting maybe 10 million. And then my total audit fees as Aura and the company perhaps is 50 million. So when I take this, because I've now taken more work from this guy, when I take 10 million divided by 50 million, I will be getting 20% from one client, 20% of my fees from one client. This will lead to what we call over-reliance. Over-reliance. As an auditor, you're not supposed to over-rely on one client. Because if you're over-relying on one client for your fees, then the independence that you have will be compromised. You will be singing hallelujah to this guy every time so that it doesn't drop you. Because if it drops you, you're going to lose 20 cents. So should push come to shove, if I'm really pushed so badly until I say, fine, I want to accept this job, then you must build what we call a Chinese wall. A Chinese wall should be very tall and very strong. So we have external audit team, we have the internal audit team. Ensure that the two teams are not able to talk to each other. Yeah, that's a safeguard. We call them safeguards. They're not able to talk to each other. The engagement partners are different, like that. All right. So they wanted me to comment on the ethical and professional issues raised by the proposal to increase the firm's revenue and explain how the audit practices board responded to the ethical issues raised by audit firms offering extended audit service. Very easy. This one I'll get on one. I got awards when I was doing my CPA and ACCA as well. Yeah. So this one, it doesn't need you to be very, very bright when you're answering all these questions. Actually, very, very bright students fail. Because again, you're not supposed to, ladies and gentlemen, here to read your thing. So, like in this question, I appreciate that the question is testing independence. And there are two major threats. Two major threats. Hope you are taking your notes down. All right. So these threats, number one, we have what we call the self-review threat. Self-review threat. And then number two, we have what we call a management threat. You know, when you start taking internal audit really is a function of managing a company because you're looking at processes. So you're going to become one of the managers. Everything else will come from the two threats. Everything else. Yeah, we start with the first one, self-review, right? Self-review threat. You know, reviewing your own work. Yeah, that's self-review. So what do we mean with this? That the auditor may audit his own work. The auditor may audit his own work. I.e., if external auditor, yeah, if external auditor performs internal audit, he will rely on the internal audit. Internal audit reports. Internal audit reports, okay. Internal audit reports. Yeah, okay. Internal audit reports during external audit. During external audit. Full stop there. Just give me a minute. One minute. All right. So there is something small I'm sorting here, and then we get to continue. Something small I'm sorting here, and then we get to continue. But overall, remember, at one point, this external auditor will be relying on the reports of who? On the reports of the internal auditor. So if he does internal auditing, and he is the internal auditor, or rather, and he is the external auditor, he'll be reviewing his own work. When he's reviewing his own work, what does that mean? He will drop what we call professional skepticism. Because who will doubt himself? Who will doubt their work? But unless you are another one, you can't doubt your own work. So then chances are, most of the detection risks, the risks that do not be able to detect any errors or frauds will be very, very high. Whenever you are auditing your own work, you'll not be able to see any errors. You'll not be able to see any errors. Do you have any class at exactly 2 p.m.? Do you guys have any other class at 2 p.m.? Or are you very, very free? You know, I love audit. Audit, I can teach audit like the whole day. Oh, Diana, they have a class. Yeah. All right. Already this guy is leaving. So what have we said? That at the end of the day, if the external auditor becomes the internal auditor, all right, whatever report he will be producing as an internal auditor, he will have to use that report for external audit. So he'll be reviewing his own work. When he reviews his own work, he will not be able to doubt himself. He will not be able to see any errors. So basically that reduces what we call professional what here? Skepticism. Then we have the second threat, what we are calling the management what here? Threat. Let me just write down. Yeah. So we have here what we call the management threat. What is the meaning there of this management threat? What is the meaning there? The auditor starts making management decisions. Auditor starts making management decisions. Because now he's an internal auditor. So for example, designing internal controls. This is the work of management, not you as an external auditor. Designing internal controls, approving transactions as an internal auditor, in a way, a place you approve. So approving transactions. Running internal audit department. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, auditors should only advise. Should only advise after we look at what we have done, not manage. Not manage. Auditors should only advise, but of course not manage. So in case he takes up, in case the external auditor takes up the internal audit role, what safeguards will he put down? The safeguards. Number one, separate teams have separate teams, full stop. i.e. different people perform internal and external audits. Perform internal and external audits. You will have different engagement teams. Number 2, partner review. Partner review of the jobs done by the two teams. So independent partners. Independent partners to carry out reviews. So those are clear safeguards. And ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, I think we have done justice to our today's session. I hope you guys have been able to follow. And I would want us to stop there. Yeah. I hope you have gotten something. You are not going home empty-handed. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. See you again. Yeah. So I'll be able to share this document later. I'll be able to share the document later, not now. Later. We'll share the document.